Something. Dead people. Welcome to Happy Suffer.
Just shout dead for 30 minutes.
Everyone's still dead.
It's still the same day.
Yep. Seems like a not great day so far for these people.
Pretty bad. Must be a Monday.
Welcome to episode 170 of I Hope You Suffer. My name is Nathan.
I'm Kit. I almost forgot.
I'm Katie.
Everybody forgot their names.
I was like, what the fuck is my name? Where am I? I'm very tired.
I forget how old I am all the time.
Oh, same. Like, I don't know. It starts with a 3.
Right? Does it matter anymore, honestly?
Yeah, who gives a shit? Just give me a cake and then wheel me into the home.
Mine, my starts with a 3, ends in May, so.
Oh, no!
It's all downhill. Besides everyone being old, we are talking about episode 3 of Syfy's Day of the Dead, entitled The Gray Mile, which is apparently the name of the retirement home, or part of the retirement home.
It's really bleak.
I was gonna say, seems rude.
Yeah, not great.
What did everybody think of this episode? Katie?
First of all, definitely, we're on episode 3, so for some reason this is your first time here. There's going to be lots of spoilers. I'm going to start out by saying, I'm not going to lie, this episode made me cry.
Because of the old lady?
Yeah, what the fuck? So this episode kind of switches focus to, like, a lot more of the mayor and, like, stuff going on in the home. And normally whenever we're, like, focused on the mayor, I am just mad the whole time because I hate her and she's terrible and she continues to get more terrible. But since her husband is there, I think he is hilarious. So we're getting a little bit more into, like, the thick of things. So I thought this episode was, aside from the ending, like, pretty funny. Like, I LOL'd a few times.
There's a see. I like this episode. This is the first episode of the 3 that, like, for the first half of it, I was kind of like, like nothing new's happened. Like this, it didn't feel like the story was getting pushed forward. I felt until like Jay, like now that I don't know, there's some weird shit where Jay and Lauren know each other. So I was like, oh, what's going on with this? Yeah. But there was a thing in this episode that we'll get to after we find out what Kit thought, that I was like, this is one of the grossest things I've ever seen, and I hate it. What did you think, Kit?
I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
So.
It's pretty good. But I don't know. It still has a distinctly, like, sci-fi TV show feel to it, which I've just never been a big fan of, but
sure.
It is working very hard to overcome that.
Like, I don't know, it's hard. I feel like, especially in the wake of The Walking Dead, like, I feel like it's impossible to not compare this to that. Like, it's just, like, The Walking Dead is such a, like, massive thing for, like, TV, and especially, like, if you're doing a zombie show, that, like, the entire time I watch it, it's hard for me not to, like, compare it to what I've seen of The Walking Dead.
Right.
And so, like, I don't know, I feel like I at least, like, the thing I really like is that it's not bleak. Like, I think I said, like, the first episode, like, it's not just overwhelmingly bleak like The Walking Dead was. Yeah. But like I said, this was kind of like the first episode where I was like, I like this, but like it didn't feel like until maybe the last like 10 or 15 minutes where like, you know, the first episode you're like, okay, well here's like all the characters, and the second episode you got like you got your first kind of real feel of like, oh, okay, well now they're dealing with the zombie outbreak, and this is the first episode where you're like, okay, well they're past, like, you know, they've all encountered the zombies at this point, so it's like, now where's it going? So this was kind of like the first one that felt like less plot pushing forward and more just kind of like, okay, they're just in this now, you know? Like
yeah, and this is the world.
But like, there was some pretty cool shit in it. I'm intrigued in whatever the fuck's going on with the cop that they just now have like locked up in a weird fucking fracking lab, I guess. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on there.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Right? Who hasn't been locked in a fracking lab?
Who hasn't been kidnapped by a fracking company in their lives? When he pushes that fucking tooth out of his, like,
oh, that was
like
gnarly.
That was the thing. I was like, oh, this is fucked up, and I hate it. That's some shit I feel like would have been in the Evil Dead remake.
What if he ate the tooth afterwards?
Hey, if he's missing a tooth, maybe he uses it.
He just pops it in. He was a hockey player. He's like, oh, I always needed this tooth.
This is a joke from the episode of The Simpsons. I think it's maybe the one where Homer becomes a boxer, where like he's fighting Tatum, and like after the thing he's all beat up, and I think Bart's like, oh, I kept her teeth for you, and he puts like the tooth in and like moves it around. He's like, yeah, not mine. Like, now all I can think about. But yeah, so like for the most part, this episode takes place pretty much almost everybody except for Blackburn's story is like slow, like seems like it's going to converge in this retirement home in the next episode. Because Lauren,
I think they left the retirement home.
Well, yeah, but like, oh yeah, I guess that's true. I forget. Like, at the end of this episode,
hang out in the rubble.
Like they blow up. Like they tell everybody to like go in their rooms and hide because there's murderers on the loose in the retirement home, and then they just blow up a room in it. And I'm like,
so hard. She's like, "Stay in your rooms. There's murderers out here." And Jay's like, can you say something else? Like, you don't have to be that like blunt about it. And Lauren's just like, what? Like, what else am I supposed to say?
Good.
I know. I did think that was like kind of weird because like the whole point was to like lure the zombies away so that the rest of the people in the nursing home would be safe, and that was like kind of Mrs. French's like idea. And then I was so sad. She like sacrifices herself, but they do blow up an entire room of the nursing home, so I'm wondering how safe everybody else is.
Like, the place is on fire, and they were all just told to stay in their rooms, so they just killed everybody in this.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine.
So we'll see what happens with that. But,
yeah, I guess. I forgot the mayor's son is still out in the woods, but I think everybody else besides it's like him and that like his friend, and then Blackburn. Everyone else, I think. No, I mean, I guess the cop too. Like, most of the people were ended up in the retirement home, but I guess didn't cross paths because it was like the mayor was still lurking around trying to find Weekend at Bernie's, and you find out that the mayor's son is not her husband.
Trey is not his dad. Yeah.
Which that wasn't at all what I was expecting the news to be for the what was gonna be. Well, you're gonna drop out of the race because of this.
Yeah, the like level of importance that they put on like whatever the secret was like didn't really translate, although it does lead to some pretty so we all know that Trey and what was the assistant's name? I don't even remember at
Nicole.
This point. Nicole. The whole like karma surrounding like essentially the mayor is like walking around with a gun, and to be fair, she does almost shoot Trey, So he knocks the gun out of her hand, and then when Nicole goes to pick it up, she removes the bullet because she's like, hey, she learns the secret, right? That Trey is not Luke's dad. And in her mind, she's like, oh my God, there's like nothing tying him to her anymore. So she's going to like basically try and get the mayor killed. And she tells Trey about it, but Trey's like, no, like she's the mother of my child or whatever. And almost immediately, instead of the mayor getting attacked, Nicole gets attacked. And when the mayor tries to defend her, she doesn't have any bullets and Nicole dies. And when Trey like runs over to her on the floor bleeding out, he's like, I'm sorry, but don't say anything. Cause like, I guess he was afraid that she was going to be like, we're having an affair, even though she's like dying.
She bleeds so much after getting bit in the neck.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly. And then he was just like, I'm sorry, you didn't deserve this. And I was like, that sucks.
I don't know. She sucks.
And the mayor's kind of like, why are you so upset? And he's just like, she loved you so much. And the mayor's like, okay. So we'll see. We'll see if anything. But then she does save him. Like, he almost gets attacked. And she's like, get away from my husband. And that's when they sort of, I don't know. I thought the whole opening with them, like, going into that, like, room, you know, where he was watching the editor or whatever, and then finding that he had just, like, completely eaten the other people was extremely funny.
Yeah. The like you said at the beginning, like, I hate her. She's a shitty character, but like their storyline is the one that I was like, at least till the end of this episode, that I was most intrigued with, because like you ended episode 2 with like the dude whispering to her that she's gonna drop out of the race or whatever, and now that I know that secret, I was like, oh well, that's it. But like, I'm still like, I don't know, I'm like intrigued by their storyline because they seem to be like, at least she seems to be the only one taking any sort of like real action against anything.
Yeah.
Because the rest of them up until now either hadn't really encountered a zombie yet, or like had to deal with them, or like, I don't know, like now I'm like, I want to know what the deal is with Jay and Lauren, because they definitely know each other.
Well, I think that they're kind of alluding to the fact that Lauren had some kind of like drug dependence, because she talks about having been in jail, and then when they knew each other, she's like, well, I don't want to go back to the hospital or whatever after what happened to me. So we don't really know what actually happened to her yet, just that something happened to the point where like she doesn't want to go at all. And then when they go to like the nursing home instead to like stitch up her bite, he's like trying to give her anesthesia, and she's like, literally no, like I won't even have anesthesia. So we'll see what happens with that.
I know, like, I think I saw like in a preview at some point they end up back at the country club, so where Jay's supposed to be getting married. I'm interested to see what's going to happen there.
Oh yeah, because he was trying to call his like fiance and she's not picking up, so we don't even know what's going on with her or her stupid ass dad at all. I'm assuming the next episode will kind of pick up with Luke and Trent, because they still haven't like actually seen anything yet, and we kind of leave off with them thinking that they've found the party that they've been looking for like 3 episodes. Because they're streaming, so I assume that's when they're finally going to get there. But
just so excited to finally party. It's like, nope, everyone's dead.
It's all yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Trent is kind of like a piece of shit, so I hope he's like, oh man, tell me why you're so sad about Cam. And he's like, okay man, I'll tell you. Well,
we used to be best friends.
And he's like, the party, and he just literally runs away, and Luke's like, what the fuck?
I am interested that like to see what ends up bringing like the group together. Like, you know, at the beginning of the first episode, you see like you know, the 2 kids and the mom, and I think Lauren with them, at least. I don't know if Jay's with them or not, but
Shit, I can't remember now. All I remember is the mayor and then Luke and Cam.
I think Lauren's with
Maybe
them too.
Lauren was driving, so that's a good sign. I just really like Lauren. She's my favorite, and I'm like so worried. I'm just so worried about her.
I wonder if they're going to like actually explain like what the deal is with the zombies, or if it'll be kind of like The Walking Dead, where like it's just kind of a thing that you just have to like accept.
It's just life now.
Yeah.
Well, because like not even like what started it per se, but like how they work in this universe. Because like they show like when they're in that lab where the fucking cop's being held captive or whatever, the finger is like zombified on its own, but like he's not.
Oh, his detached finger. Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what the deal is with that. Like even
They
just the
also-
shit with like the arm letting them out of the fucking the funeral home, like in the
Yeah.
second episode and everything. I'm very interested because like we talked about, I think in the first episode, how like it's been like been a long time since I've seen a movie where they like come out of the ground. It's got like weird non-logical shit of just like, well, the severed arm's moving around too. Like you don't really see that in zombie media too often anymore. It's very much like it's either like Zack Snyder zombies or like just straight up George Romero ones. So I don't know, it's been nice watching this where it's like this weird sort of Return of the Living Dead style nonsensical zombies.
Well, we also like don't even know how to kill them because like the Weekend at Bernie's or whatever guy, like the mayor shot him like a bunch of times and then ran through him with a pole, and like I'm pretty sure he's still alive. And then at the end of this episode we get the explosion, but it cuts off after that, so we don't even know if that did it. Like we haven't actually seen a zombie die yet.
What if they're like reverse zombies and you have to eat them to kill them?
Oh.
Oh,
It might take a while for them to figure that out. I don't know.
I just one of them's just gonna be like, look, I haven't eaten all day. I'm trying this.
I'm so hungry. Yeah.
The finale is like Joey Chestnut just eating like 50 zombies in 10 minutes.
So it just becomes like Inhumane Witch, where like they have to get.
Oh my god.
I do, cause like in you know a normal like zombie thing, it would have like the Weekend at Bernie's dude in the retirement home would have never turned because he got shot in the head before he died. Like, so it would have killed his brain regardless. So
Right.
him coming back, yeah.
Yeah.
And but also like so far, I feel like the mayor has not shot anybody in the head. That's like everybody else in like the beginning of zombie stuff where they just shoot them all in the body.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
like
We did.
we got
I think
specifically,
we saw somebody get shot in the head.
huh?
Somebody did shoot one of them in the head in another episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that's, or you know, at least Lauren like smashed the shit out of that one's head, but he was still moving around afterwards and stuff. So
Yeah. I don't know. I still am like really want to know more about like the underground cave zombie guy.
yeah, there's something going on there. It seems not
Something wrong with him.
Probably. Yeah.
He's got
not
issues.
Right. They've already sacrificed. I'm also wondering, like, what kind of shady ass like doctors do they have at that fracking facility that they like sewed the detective's finger stump on with like a full tooth in it.
I mean,
Like,
the fact
when
that
he
they
first
have
like squeezed
doctors,
it out, I thought it was a bone. It was so big, and he was like, "Is that a fucking tooth?" And I was like, "Ooh!"
the fact that they even have doctors like and a full on like lab going on at this place is probably not great.
No. Mm-mm.
I
So I don't know.
hope I never have to push a finger out of a body part. This
Out of a
seems
finger,
not fun.
a tooth out of a finger stump.
Yeah.
I hope I never have to push a finger out of a tooth. either.
Yeah, that seems hard.
It could be a big tooth or a tiny finger. You never know.
I just don't want them to be related to each other.
Ugh. Terrible.
So yeah, I don't know. This was the only other thing we got going on was Sarah being hunted by that fucking dude, but she seems to have gotten away from him. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm assuming
What's up with that?
It seems like there's going to be some sort of like thing where, because she has like a sniper rifle, so I'm assuming she's going to be some like ex-military or something that gets like revealed. We got one more episode of Kostansky directing, and then I don't know who starts directing.
Yeah. I was like, when I was watching this episode, I was like, it'll really be interesting to see how it changes or whatever, if we notice like the difference. Because I mean, there's some really cool shots in this episode too, with like some in your face blood splatter action and whatnot. So we'll see if I can. I have to say that like I'm surprised out of the three of us. I feel like I'm like way more into it than you guys, well, especially Kit, and this is like totally not really my thing at all. So I'd be interested to see if like my interest falls off after like episode 4 or not. We'll see.
I'm pretty into it. I like it. Like, I was very mad that I couldn't watch it the day it dropped because Syfy for some reason put up on the app that's still there only the Spanish dub of it. Even though people have like been tweeting at them all week like, hey, what the fuck? They're just like not fixing it.
They're taking a vacation.
Next episode is called Forest of the Damned, so
Ooh, oh yeah.
I do like forests.
And the Damned.
And the Damned.
Yeah.
I hope for some reason just 50 zombies come pouring out of that like body of water and they're all fucked up and waterlogged and shit. That's what I want.
Yeah, I'm really like, so far we've only seen like the back of a head of a water zombie, and I'm like real into seeing what they look like.
Yeah.
I want
so
tree
far,
zombies.
Everyone else looks like pretty cool.
I want the trees
zombie?
to
all right.
be zombies, so they're just like giant trees from Lord of the Rings, but they're dead.
Yes, I'm in.
Well, undead. Reanimated dead.
Give me zombies.
Yeah, so next episode, Forest of the Damned. Good title.
Yeah.
Or at least a title that I'm like, ooh, see what this is all about.
Yeah.
I think Kostansky did effects work for the entire thing, so
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but he better up.
Trying to see.
It would be kind of funny if he didn't, and he only did it for the episodes he directed. So suddenly, after episode 4, it's just wildly different looking zombies.
It's just like shit. It's like all CG.
They just like all of a sudden turn into like the just blue skinned like Dawn of the Dead zombies.
Yeah. Fucking zombie rednecks or whatever. Just like got some white paint on. Some ketchup smeared.
I'm in. Let's do it.
Tomato blood.
Yeah, so that'll be next week. We'll talk about that episode. My prediction is, again, the trees are zombies and come to life.
All right. Let's do it.
That'd be pretty cool. I also kind of hope that they're all standing outside of the retirement home, and then just a bunch of on fire zombies come out after them.
I mean,
that would rule.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah, that's a pretty good prediction.
Fire zombies, always a good choice.
Yes. Honestly, anything on fire walking at you, always a good visual.
Yes,
yeah,
backed.
pretty much.
All right, yeah, we'll be back next week to talk about that episode. until then, I hope you've something but something.
Yeah.
It's what you get this week, because I got nothing.
Yeah, my brain doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's over. It's done.
The movie we actually watched has occupied all of my brain.